Right now, somewhere in a massive government database, your fingerprints are permanently stored. You never signed a form, and you never agreed to it. Biometric tracking is often framed as a specific tool for monitoring criminals or solving cold cases, a system you only enter if you break the law. The scientific foundation for this system was laid in 1892. That year, Francis Galton proved that fingerprints never change. From birth until death, the ridges on your skin grow back in the exact same configuration, regardless of time or injury. This biological permanence allowed governments to categorize and index individuals for life, effectively turning the skin into a state-issued serial number that can never be lost or replaced. This indexing now reaches far beyond the criminal justice system. It's built into passport applications, work visas, and government IDs. In many United States hospitals, the process begins on the day you are born, with the collection of infant footprints for permanent record. Look at this chart comparing standard populations against the FBI's Next Generation Identification System. That database holds over 160 million fingerprint records, a figure representing nearly half the population of the United States. The physical geometry of our hands created the first layer of this biometric net, but the ridges on your skin hide a second, deeper level of data. Conceptually zooming past the surface of the skin and into the biological structure reveals a different kind of record. At this magnification, the fingerprint functions as a chemical document. Researchers at the University of Surrey found that every touch transfers a molecular snapshot of the body's internal state. Every ridge leaves behind a trail of the specific chemicals circulating in your blood at that moment. This ridge topography can be scanned for biological markers. High cortisol levels reveal intense stress or fear at the moment of touch. Molecular analysis also identifies glucose linked to diabetes and trace elements of drugs like cocaine, even without direct handling. These chemical signatures allow agencies to construct deep physical and mental health profiles, bypassing the need for medical records or traditional consent. Modern public surveillance and digital photography have moved this collection out of the lab and into the street. In 2023, researchers at the University of Warwick demonstrated that a full fingerprint can be reconstructed using nothing but a standard photograph taken from across a room. This schematic shows how AI scanning nodes isolate visible hands in a frame, whether from a security feed or a social media post, and digitally extract the ridge data into a flat, searchable grid. This extraction technology is currently being refined and tested by law enforcement agencies globally, turning every high-resolution lens into a potential biometric scanner. Our fingerprints have dematerialized into digital ghosts. Physical contact with the surface is no longer a requirement for identification. You simply have to exist within the line of sight of a camera. This data feeds into active checks across various jurisdictions. In the US, agencies like Immigration and Customs Enforcement can trigger biometric database searches during routine traffic stops before a driver even exits the vehicle. Internationally, the applications vary from China's social credit tracking to the European Union's Eurodac system, which catalogs the prints of every refugee and asylum seeker across 32 different countries. This creates a permanent vulnerability. Unlike a password or a phone number, which can be reset after a security breach, a biological fingerprint is a static credential that you carry for life. The consequences of this permanence were seen in 2015, when a hack of the U.S. Office of Personnel Management resulted in the theft of 5.6 million federal fingerprint records. For those victims, the compromise is final. They cannot change the data that identifies them, meaning their biological security is permanently lost. You owned your fingerprints long before you understood what ownership meant, but through the growth of these databases, that biological identity now belongs to the system.